Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit True of My Chest and it's by user FewPlum7258. I don't want my daughter to spend a week with my sister and brother-in-law and it's making everybody around me very uncomfortable. My sister's husband and I dated for about a year when I broke things off because I wasn't in love with him. He didn't take it well. The reason I didn't love him was because, and it could all be in my head, I felt he wasn't what he seemed to be. Everyone was shocked that I refused such a great guy, and I really couldn't say anything because on the outside, he was perfectly in love with me and cherished me. So I stayed silent because I couldn't talk badly about him when it's just in my guts. When he started seeing my younger sister, I felt like my gut feeling was right because why not just start over with another family? When I expressed my feelings to my sister, she got defensive, and I didn't blame her because he is just a perfect gentleman. When he proposed to her, I was very desperate and bluntly asked her how he was in bed, and she was very upset and called me disrespectful and disgusting. I felt so ashamed that I literally ran away in tears. All my gut feeling started when he grabbed my neck when we were intimate one day. I pushed away his hand. Next time, he squeezed a little bit before letting go, and since then, I saw him in a different light and I ended the relationship. I know it might not be a big deal, but for me, it gave me stomachache that the idea of him touching me made me want to faint. Anyway, I didn't handle it well when I tried to ask my sister. She just thought I was perverse and that they're very compatible. My daughter is 13 and I was never together with her father because he lives abroad. I have a very cordial relationship with brother-in-law. I am close with my sister. My sister mentioned how her husband thought my daughter looked a lot like me when she was 5, and everyone thought it was endearing. For me, it just made me feel sick. Then, once again, he said it last summer on her birthday. I can't put words into how I felt because what if they're completely baseless and I'm just being a moron? I am fully aware that this all could be in my head. Now, for about 3 years, my sister and brother-in-law have invited all the cousins to their cottage to ski every winter, and I have refused to send my daughter because the idea terrifies me. I don't know what I am scared of, but it becomes dark whenever I think about the way he is very calm and cordial when talking to me, but sometimes I see something dark in his eyes when he thinks I'm not looking, and to make such comments about my daughter that are more than normal, but for me, coming from him makes me want to cry. I'm just rambling here and I don't care to proofread, so maybe I missed saying how he was devastated when I broke up with him. And when begging didn't work, he told me that his mistake was to have been kind to me instead of showing me how to properly respect him. Opie, in my opinion, keep trusting your gut. That last line, yeah, creepy as hell. What do you mean properly respect him? Like you didn't? Also, you are probably picking up on something real, you just don't know how to rationalize it or if it's something there that's logical, but you're definitely picking up on something. When you were being intimate, his mask slipped, and that mask is what everybody else sees. You're able to see what's behind it. So trust your gut, do not let your child near that man. Those comments are just creepy as hell, and you're absolutely right. Why go for your sister? It is rhetorical because I guess we all know why he went for your sister. Just keep your child safe, OP. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's check out the community comments. ToothFairy1001 says, I don't know how a sister can marry someone their other sibling dated. They were together for a year. They were intimate and loved each other. Now he just hops to a different sibling and stays in the family? Unless it was we went on 3 dates and matched via a dating app but didn't work out, never met the family and weren't intimate, then I truly don't comprehend how anyone can do this. And Dopey responds, she is 5 years younger than me and he is very rich. She never wanted to study or work and he gave her everything. She was 20. These Process 7331 says, have a chat with your daughter and make sure she knows you are 10,000% on her team. Don't burden her with your gut feeling about your brother-in-law, but do make sure to tell her she can always come to you if someone is making her uncomfortable, even though that person is considered very likable, etc. in the community. Also known as you need to hide your gut feeling about your brother-in-law. Make sure your daughter doesn't repeat your mistake by creating a safe space for her to do so. If your brother-in-law is legit some wolf in sheepskin, then in today's world he can easily reach out to your daughter by social media and groom her. Make sure she knows what grooming is and what she needs to do if someone acts in that way. Provide her with knowledge and support. Also, OP, get yourself therapy. I can't pinpoint why, but it seems like you have trouble being open and honest about your feelings in order not to upset others. Maybe yes, you are seeing ghosts and is your gut feeling a trauma response association, but from this information I can't say which is what. Hopefully a good therapist can figure out what it is. And OP responds, thank you, heart. I am always in discussion with my daughter about these things, and not only because I have brother-in-law in my life. We are very close since she doesn't see her dad more than a few times a year. Tai GM says, he sounds like he's been plotting on you for years. Trust your gut and do not send your child there or ever leave her unattended with that man. Unfortunately, your sister sees nothing wrong and as such will not be able to protect your daughter. And Dopey responds, or at least that he still resents that I ended things. I don't think he is obsessed with me as a person, but rather why I left. And I truly believe that he is not what he appears to be. And Human Type 001 says, always, always, always trust your instincts. You listened to that inner voice telling you to get away and it saved you. Now it's telling you to keep your daughter away. Listen to it. Protect her. It's better to have everyone think you're the bad person by not letting her go, but you know you're protecting her. I would rather have someone be mad at me than have to see them in the hospital or worse, bury them. Trust your instincts. And Opie has a comment. My daughter is very upset with me. She loves her cousins, and it's usually 10 kids her age. I tried to take the week off, but I couldn't. I thought that I would join them and rent a cottage or apartment, but I wasn't able to. Nobody besides the adults in the family know the history. I am very sorry that my daughter feels sad. My sister and my parents are having a very hard time understanding this. I even heard gossip that I was angry because my sister took him. But the matter of fact is that I do not blame my sister for anything. Just the fact that he went after my family solidified my belief that he is not who he pretends to be. But it has gone 14 years now, and while I really wonder how long a man can keep up a facade, I still doubt this is anything but a facade. After I ended the relationship, it took me a while to understand what I felt and why I ended the relationship, but the thought of him touching me again made me terrified. I blundered when I tried to talk to my sister about it, and I felt so much shame because of how disgusted she looked at me. I didn't want to disgust my family. I felt that it was probably just me seeing these things about me. My family was devastated when I ended things. I guess they were happy he was back as part of the family again. Only my brother is not a big fan of his, and it helped me a lot to have him in my corner when I ended the relationship. To be honest, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have his support. I would probably have caved and taken him back. We grew up very poor, so a man like him looking at someone like me was like winning a lottery for my family. Additional information from Opie's comments. When my daughter was 5, he gave her a very expensive gift on her birthday. It totally broke me because my sister was so proud to help us and I couldn't hurt her by refusing, while his comment was that he could have been her father. Nobody thought it was an odd comment because everyone thought since my daughter's father wasn't in the picture, he was right. Family helped each other. Then I heard that he commented about her looking like me. I don't know, it just gave me the heebie-jeebies without anything solid to pinpoint. I don't think I have ever spoken more than a few words with him alone since they got married, but the few times it was always some weird comments about my relationships and my daughter not having a father. I always run away when I find myself alone with him because I feel like his demeanor and posture literally change when people aren't around. I don't know how to explain it or be believed about it. Finally, this is one example of why every nerve in my body went numb, and if I said it out loud, people would call me mad, and maybe I am. My daughter's 13th birthday. He commented on how she looks the spitting image of me and that the father's genes must have been weak. It was one of his jokes that everyone laughed at, But then he told me, "She has your eyes," and looked straight at me while saying it. I looked away, but I still felt his smirk. When we dated, he used to say that he could climax only by me looking at him because of my eyes. If I told anyone my brother-in-law said my daughter has my eyes, nobody would bat an eye because that's a common thing to say. But for me, I started obsessively overthinking. Is it just a common thing to comment like any other person? Or did he mean it like the first thing that popped into my head about how he felt about me when we were together? I think I am going mad. Well, the community is telling OP to trust her gut, and with all of these examples, yeah, that dude is giving me the heebie-jeebies too. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Hi, this is just an update. Thank you very much for the support, and I feel much safer in my decision and in trusting myself. My daughter is still a bit down, but she understands that I am worried about her and that I am not doing this out of malice. She also knows that I tried my best to get the week off without success. She made me promise to do something for her and her cousins soon and to prepare better next year to be able to take vacation days to follow her. My brother was over today for dinner, and it seems like he understood where I was coming from. I was very honest with him about not trusting brother-in-law. I asked him what the talk was in the family, and he said that brother-in-law was livid, saying, "Who does she think she is? Does she think her daughter is better than us?" And the rest of the family echoing his sentiment. He asked me if it was brother-in-law that was the reason, and I said yes. He just nodded like he knew. I asked him how my sister was. She never confides in me anymore, and he said he isn't surprised. Her husband is very strict with her and the children, but he said that there's no abuse, not physical anyway. He said and shook his head. He told me that he was able to take Thursday and Friday off, and if I wanted, he could take my daughter to spend the last 4 days with her cousins under his supervision. I told him I would think about it. I was very happy that he wanted to do this for me. I explained to him that I didn't trust brother-in-law after he went after my little sister, and I have fear, maybe irrational, that he is going after my daughter now that she is nearing adulthood. He said that he understood. I actually started crying because I have never been able to talk about my feelings because I was scared to lose my family. He said he never loved or trusted him for the same reasons, and that with time he understood his feelings were valid. I told him that I felt guilty not to have warned my sister about him, and he said that she would not have listened anyway. Then he said that I have warned her several times, and that's why she distanced herself and never confided in me again. He said that brother-in-law convinced her that I was jealous of her. They all know, he said. I started crying even more. Then I talked to my daughter and asked her about him. She said that she doesn't really like him because he is always angry and short-tempered. He has, however, told her that she's becoming as beautiful as her mother was and that he used to be with me, so he's basically like her father if she wanted anything. He promised her a car when she graduated high school and asked her what kind of car she liked, and she said that she didn't like cars. He also told her that his nephews would probably find her very beautiful. He has 2 teenage nephews. I kept my calm and asked her why she didn't tell me any of this. She looked confused and said that because she didn't want a car or be friends with his nephews. I asked her if he ever hugged or kissed her or touched her, and she said no. I told her that she could talk to me about these things moving forward, and she cheerfully agreed and apologized for forgetting to tell me because she already said no thank you. So this is my update. I am very devastated, but I don't want to scare my daughter, but I want to never see my sister or her family again, and this time, I don't care what my family says anymore. Yikes, that dude is definitely next level creep. Yeah, OP, I absolutely agree with you. If the price to keep your daughter safe is to cut everybody else out, totally on your side. You keep doing the great job that you have so far. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user ModoAiry1485. Am I the a-hole for not giving my siblings a percentage of the house our mother lived in? I, 35 female, bought my first house when I was 23 for me and my mom to live in after renting for many years. I paid the $80,000 deposit and my mom helped with the mortgage, paying $300 a week while we lived there together. I did this because I didn't want to live alone or pay rent to someone else, which allowed for me to improve my finances. When I moved out at 27 with my husband and later had 3 kids, my mom started paying $450 a week, and I covered the rest of the mortgage, which wasn't much. Now my mom has passed away, and my 2 sisters, 38 and 40, think they should get a part of the house. I don't agree. They say since I already own another house, I don't need it, and they want to split it 3 ways and rent it out. I've said no because my husband and I do not want to rent it out, as it hurts me to think of someone else in my mother's house, and I know they couldn't afford the mortgage and their own bills. Because of this, they've started arguing, calling me selfish because they think I already have everything and they don't. But I have not spent over $200,000 on that house just to give it to someone else for free. They also believe that since house prices have gone up significantly, that I'm to earn an extra couple $100,000, which I might, but I always paid for the property taxes and any maintenance needed. However, I do know my mother spent her money on this house over the years and are forever grateful she could help me out, so I offered each $5,000, which is all I can spare after having to pay for most of my mother's funeral and headstone. But they believe it's not enough and are continuing to argue with me about this. Have any of you experienced this? Well, B, I don't think you're the a-hole, and I've never experienced anything like this because I don't like clowns, honestly. So here's how I see it. Your mom didn't help you with the mortgage. Your mom paid rent, which she would have done any other place, and you used that rent money to pay off your mortgage. That's it. It's not like your sisters are entitled to any of it. The house is yours. I assume the deed is in your name. They're just being greedy. They didn't even help with the funeral, apparently. Screw them. Those $5,000 that you're offering to each of them, also no. They are entitled to nothing. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's check out the community comments. Mikoto Suo's wife says, wait a minute, you bought this house and it's in your name presumably, and they want it? Why? Because your mom lived there? Is this house entirely in your name? Did your mom have any stake in the game? And Dopey responds, yes, that's why they want it. They think they're entitled to it because she paid half and lived in it, so they see it as partly hers. But the whole house is fully in my name. Honestly, I always thought of it as my mom's house and never really saw it any other way, but I won't ever say that to them. Downright Mystical says, not the a-hole. If you hadn't bought that house, your mother would have continued renting, so the money she spent on the mortgage would still not be there anyway, and there would be nothing for your siblings to ask for. At least, that's the way I look at it. The money your mother spent was the same as paying rent. It just so happens that you were the landlord. It's your house. Do with it what you wish. And Dopey responds, that's how I see it. Thank you. Needed clarification from unbiased people, as all I've heard these past weeks was I was in the wrong and began doubting myself. And Sofa Queen says, yes, I have. My husband and I bought his parents' house after his mom died. The dad lived there for a while, then remarried and moved out. Husband's 2 sisters moved in, rent-free, for about 3 years. Then we decided to sell the house. Now, we paid the dad full price. Paid for all the maintenance and taxes for over 5 years. When we bought the house, it needed a ton of maintenance. Sisters moved out, we sold the house. That's when the 4 siblings came with their hands out expecting their share of the family home. So what did I do? First, I laughed in their faces. Second, I pulled out my handy-dandy spreadsheets of our costs and expenses. As it turned out, we had a slight loss before taxes, so I told them how much they owed us on the family home. Needless to say, that didn't go well. At least they stay away now. And Dopey responds, cannot believe they asked for money after living there rent-free. That's worse than ever thought could happen. Community agrees OP is not the a-hole and that she shouldn't give the sisters anything. So now let's move on to the update to see how the story ends. My middle sister called again, saying I'm being greedy and that her daughter should get a share too. I love my niece as she's my only niece and very special to me, but I still said no. In my mind, she's always welcome to stay at my home or the other house anytime once everything is sorted, but she won't receive any percentage of the house because her mother didn't contribute anything. I told my sister to stop calling about it or she wouldn't be welcome at my house. I don't want my children hearing or seeing their mom and aunt arguing, nor do I want my niece to hear. She said that was fine because she wouldn't want to visit someone so greedy anyway. Just for newcomers, as I know some are confused, I'm solely on the deed. No arrangement was made. Mother paid well below market rent. 2 houses down just listed their house for $650 weekly. Wow, Opie, I gotta give it to your sister. She just takes the cake. She calls you greedy because you won't share the house that you paid for, but she wants a piece? That woman needs to take a shower. She is just dripping in irony. Good thing you shut that down, Opie. Thanks so much for sharing and take care. And now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge and it's by user Jade Wildaz. The airplane cleaner stole my iPods. About 6 months ago, I had a layover in Houston. After deplaning and going through security, I realized my headphones had fallen out of my pocket. I submitted the lost item claim with United and gave the description of the color of the silicone case they had on them. Plane information, seat number, the whole thing. I also set it to lost mode and included my phone number to call me. I emailed United a few times, stating I could see they had moved from the plane to what seemed to be the United office space. I now realize it was probably employee lockers. After about 24 hours, I saw them go to an apartment building. I watched them go from the apartment building to the airport, back and forth, and tracked the schedule. I gave United the address of the employee, their schedule, and what days they had worked. Surely the home address and schedule was enough to pinpoint who it was, so they could at least deal with it internally. Wasn't exactly excited to get the AirPods back if they had been wearing them. United told me that because the AirPods had left the property, they wouldn't do anything and I had to file a police report with Houston PD. I live in Arizona. They closed my claim. I use Find My a lot for various AirTags and things, so for the last few months, whenever I see my lost headphones with the earbuds out, I hit play sound on the earbud and blast the wearer's ears out. I see them quickly go back into the case. If they would have called me when they found them, I happily would have sent them a reward, even enough to buy their own basic pair. I understand they are expensive and not everyone can swing a pair. I am slowly working toward making them go deaf, so no one else loses a set of headphones to them. I think this is the pettiest thing I've ever done.